Hey everyone, have you ever just looked around and wondered what hidden forces are driving the changes in literally everything around us? From a rusty old bike chain to searing a steak for dinner, there's a universal rulebook running the show. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're jumping right into the fascinating properties of matter and the energy that totally transforms it.
All right, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with matter, energy, and change. Then we'll break down physical versus chemical properties. After that, extensive versus intensive properties. We'll decode the chemical hazard diamond. And finally, we'll wrap it all up by decomposing some water in the real world. Let's get into it.
Part 1. Matter, Energy, and Change.
So a foundational rule of chemistry is that matter doesn't just change on a whim. Whenever it undergoes any kind of change, energy is intimately involved. But what is energy exactly? Well, formally, it's the ability to do work. Basically, it allows a force to act on something and push it a certain distance. Think of it like an engine pushing your car down the highway, or a battery lighting up your flashlight. It's the absolute baseline requirement for anything to heat up, light up, make a sound, or even just physically move.
Now, what's really fascinating is how we classify the flow of that energy, specifically heat. We generally look at two main categories. First, we have exothermic changes. These actively release heat out into their surroundings, like the warmth you feel radiating from a roaring campfire. On the flip side, we have endothermic changes. These actually pull heat in. You have to actively supply energy to make the reaction happen. If you've ever cracked one of those chemical cold packs for a sprained ankle and felt it instantly turn freezing cold, you've literally felt an endothermic reaction stealing heat right out of your own skin.
All right, moving right along to Section 2, Physical versus Chemical Properties.
This is essentially how we observe and distinguish one unique substance from another. The absolute key difference here is the identity of the substance. In a physical change, we're really just altering the state or the form. Think about melting an ice cube. It definitely looks different, right? But deep down, it's still just H2O. Its core identity stays perfectly intact. A chemical change, though, that is a total transformation. It breaks molecular bonds and creates entirely different types of matter from scratch. Once that happens, there is no going back.
To really ground these textbook definitions in reality, let's compare some everyday examples. Physical changes are things like melting wax, steam condensing on your bathroom mirror, or dissolving a spoonful of salt in a glass of water. If you evaporate that water, the salt is still sitting right there. But chemical changes, we're talking about iron rusting, nitroglycerin exploding, or even cooking red meat. When you sear steak on the grill, you're literally oxidizing the iron in the myoglobin, which causes that color shift from red to brown. You've created something completely new.
Okay, time for a quick mini quiz. Think about a banana sitting on your kitchen counter, turning brown. Is that a physical or a chemical change? Take a quick second to lock in your answer. Boom! It's a chemical change. Now, if you guessed physical because you thought it was just the banana naturally aging, remember our golden rule, our new substances forming. Absolutely! Those darker, softer, and, well, let's face it, way less tasty spots are entirely new types of matter produced by a chemical reaction that is actively breaking down the fruit.
Let's try another one, and this is a reaction you might literally feel in your own body. Dropping an antacid tablet into stomach acid and watching it fizz. Physical or chemical change? What do you think? Chemical change once again. That aggressive fizzing you're seeing or feeling in your stomach isn't just the tablet harmlessly dissolving. It's the active release of newly formed carbon dioxide gas. The sudden appearance of a new gas is a classic, textbook sign that a chemical change is actively going down.
Okay, Section 3, Extensive versus Intensive Properties. Now that we know what is changing, we need to talk about how the amount of matter actually affects its properties. This concept honestly trips a lot of people up, so stick with me here. An extensive property depends entirely on the amount of matter you have. Think mass or volume. A whole gallon of milk obviously has a larger mass than just a tiny cup of milk. But an intensive property, that does not depend on the amount. Temperature is intensive. If that gallon and that cup of milk are sitting in the same exact room, their temperature is exactly 20 degrees Celsius. Totally regardless of their size.
I love this next analogy because it brilliantly illustrates the real-world difference between heat and temperature. Just imagine this. A drop of hot cooking oil splattered on your arm causes brief, minor discomfort, whereas a pot of hot oil yields severe burns. They both have the exact same temperature, right? That's an intensive property. But the massive pot clearly contains vastly more heat, which is an extensive property. It scales dangerously with size.
Moving right along. Section 4, the chemical hazard diamond.
If you're going to spend any time studying chemistry, you absolutely need to know how to read safety labels. It literally saves lives. You've probably seen this universal symbol on trucks or barrels. It's the NFPA 704 Hazard Identification System. Let's break it down. Step 1. The top red diamond indicates the fire hazard and flash point. Step 2. The left blue diamond shows the health hazard level. Step 3. The right yellow diamond describes reactivity, basically warning you how readily a substance might undergo a violent chemical change or even detonate. And Step 4. The bottom white diamond points out special hazards, like if the substance is highly corrosive or if it's an oxidizer that lets things burn even without oxygen present.
And to keep things super fast and universally understood during an actual emergency, each of these colored sections is rated on a really simple scale from 0 to 4. A 0 means no hazard at all, and a 4 means the chemical is extremely hazardous in that specific category.
Finally, Section 5, Decomposing Water.
For our grand finale today, we're taking everything we just learned about chemical changes and applying it to a massive technological challenge. Consider this equation. We take 2 molecules of liquid water, inject a bunch of electrical energy, and we yield 2 molecules of hydrogen gas and 1 of oxygen gas. By pumping that energy in, we force a major chemical change. We are literally ripping the water molecules apart and totally rearranging the atoms into 2 separate, completely different elemental gases.
What's really wild here is that these 2 resulting gases have entirely different chemical properties from the liquid water they just came from. Oxygen itself isn't inherently flammable, but it's absolutely required for any fuel to combust. Hydrogen, on the other hand, highly flammable and an incredibly potent explosive energy source. And we can actually connect hydrogen's intense chemical properties directly to modern innovation, specifically fuel cell vehicles, or FCVs. These cars run on hydrogen gas instead of your traditional fossil fuels. Because of the specific electrochemical process they use to generate power, they're highly efficient, practically non-polluting, and get this, the only waste product they emit right out of the tailpipe is pure water.
So, here's a thought to leave you with. If we can develop a process to economically and cleanly decompose water on a massive global scale just to harvest that hydrogen, are fuel cell vehicles the undeniable way of our energy future? Think about it. Understanding basic chemical properties might literally be the key to saving our environment. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and remember to always stay curious about the matter making up your world. See you next time.